Well, I finally did it. I made it through month 1 of this 1-year Bible. And it only took me like 4 months. So this morning I was kind of doing a little Bible walk just through the month that I've read, and I thought it would be fun to kind of share it with you guys, since I had said I was going to share this journey, and I have really failed to do so. So here we go. Let's see. My goodness, should have planned that better. Alright, so it starts, January is Genesis. Just kind of went through, days of creation, all about creation. In some of my videos I've said I'm putting little tabs for the women of the Bible, and I'm using these little hearts for relationship stuff. That way I can find them again, because they're like harder and whatnot. And we just progress. This is how I'm doing my study of Psalms. I have these little note cards, and I'll get to them in a minute. But for each Psalm, I was having a really hard time understanding the interpretation, or how to interpret Psalms, or a Psalm, because I just couldn't get it. So I found a couple different resources that I'll share with you. But this is what it's looking like. I just write it out, author, type, structure, etc., and then taping it in. And now here we have quotes and applications for the day. Let's see. Just keep going. Another Psalm. The way I've been kind of doing it is, like, if there's vocabulary that I was unfamiliar with, writing it down and kind of defining it. Pictures where I maybe know the story and wanted some kind of clue, and then verses that I just loved. And it's been really fun. You can tell that I have spent a lot of time in this Bible, which for me just makes me feel really good. I feel like I've grown a lot in the last couple months reading this, and it's been really, really wonderful. So another thing is I've been using these tabs to kind of mark the message that I heard that day, or the focus of the message in that section. So here it's anger. Jesus is preaching about God's blessings, but then talks about, like, if you're angry without cause, the judgment that'll come to you and the curse, and it's pretty intense. And then here I was really struggling with Proverbs as well. So this is a summary of like a couple days worth of Proverbs, but it was really cool. If you notice in Proverbs, like, wisdom is a huge personification, so I had to find that understanding. Then we talk about Abraham. So here's my Psalm study. I'm going to share it with you. Psalmist mapping. So I start with the author, then the type, and there's a resource that I can link. I found on a Facebook page, the Sacra Via, I think. They had done a study, and so I kind of borrowed theirs. So she has different types, like lament or celebration or praise or whatnot. Then the structure, is there like a pattern in that psalm? What are some of the literary features, like similes, personification, etc.? And then insights about God and pointers to Jesus. And this is my favorite part. I feel like I'm really, like, growing to understand who God is as a, not as a person, but yeah, as a person, like who he is and what he does. And it's been really wonderful. And then I write the application for the day, like how this applies to me. And I have another resource that I've been using. It's a website, and I will link that in the video as well. Put that in later. And it's really been helpful. Like, it has really great quotes and all kinds of stuff. So anytime Jesus is talking, I put red words and kind of highlight and then try to write out my interpretation. I've been trying to use blue where God talks from that. There's a Bible that does all God's words in the Old Testament is blue. So that's been cool. Story of Lot's wife. I really like this Bible and all of the outlines that are on the side, because Bible journaling, like creatively, does not come naturally to me. I'm more of a studier. So I've really enjoyed having things already there for me to color and decorate. So some further, I don't know, I just feel like this is such a wonderful Bible, and anybody who sees this should get this Bible, because it's organized in a way that just kind of is mind-blowing. Like, you'll hear something take place in Genesis, and then Jesus is talking about it in Matthew, and you already know it because you just read it. It's been pretty great. I absolutely love it. And so today I've been just kind of walking through, because as you can see, there's some blank pages, some things where maybe I didn't take a full message away. So I've been going back and finding some, like this one I added today, talking about Matthew 9, 4 through 6. I added this one today, that Jesus is moved by the faithful, those who ask and seek, knowing they will find, knowing all things are possible through Christ. Some pictures. Another one I've added today. And this is why I did the walk, just to see, you know, like, was there a message that I missed? Is there more that I could take away before I move on to the next month? I just feel like this was a good day for me to just kind of take some time and meditate on what I have read, meditate on what I'm going to read, and then share it with you guys. So here we go, the story of Joseph. And again, I didn't write a lot, so maybe on my next walkthrough, you know, I'll find a new takeaway. I need to catch up on my Psalms, so I'll definitely be back in this month. This is just kind of me remembering what I did, enjoying it, seeing if there's more I can learn, a refresher. It's really been great. We get into the parables of Matthew. Some of them I had a takeaway, some of them I didn't. Message to my kids: listen to your parents and pay attention. It's always a good one. More parables, more Joseph. Proverbs I need to read. And this is some more I could just work with, but at the time that I read it, I didn't have a lot to say about it. So maybe next time I will. I really like this verse. This one ended up in my prayer journal. How can I know all the sins lurking in my heart? Cleanse me from these hidden faults. Keep your servant from deliberate sin. Don't let them control me. Then I will be free of guilt and innocent of great sin. I think those are wonderful. And I think that's a great prayer, to really just ask the Lord to show you what your struggles are and how to fix them, and to be better. I've taped off books of the Bible, so I have my Old Testament on the top, New Testament are on the bottom. That way I can kind of find them. Story of Moses and the burning bush. When I did the pink and blue, this is talking about birth and children in like a loving capacity, not so much like a warning. Here it is again. More about being a wife and a husband. This is asking that you be fulfilled, or a wife be the fulfillment for her husband, that he might not wander. I think that's a good one. $70 times 7. How many times Jesus says you should forgive? Then I started drawing pictures of the plagues that Moses was experiencing, or they were experiencing in Egypt. And this is kind of confusing, you know, because you go from Matthew to Exodus and back again. So you just have to really pay attention to where you are. Here we are, camel through the eye of a needle. My little camel has a bare face, but, you know, that's okay. He's still cute, and he's mine. Talking about the Passover. The Festival of Unleavened Bread. Passover instructions. And then we're at the end. So here I'll start February. I have my study card just to remind me kind of how to study. And a prayer card to remind me to really get my heart right before I get started. So I know it was kind of long, probably kind of boring, but I thought I'd share the way that I've been reading and my little walkthrough. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and feel free to ask me any questions if you have any.